All right, I want to show you something about the cameras. So if you look at this truck, it has a camera right here on the back, and you can see it on the dashboard, and then this truck also has one. And one thing I've noticed is when you let the tailgate down, you don't see anything. Wait a minute, we're supposed to be reviewing trail cameras. So let's roll. Hey everyone, welcome to Joko Outdoors. My name's Ken.
I'm Brian.
And today we're going to be putting up a trail camera that I got from somebody that from the company Apeman. They'd reached out to us about doing a review on their trail cam, and we're going to get it put up. And we're going to do I'm going to do a full review on it, and we're also going to be putting some of the pictures and the video that it takes too. So before we get started, make sure you subscribe for us, please. You guys are doing awesome with the subscriptions, but write us some comments so we can see if you need to see anything else or have any questions about what we're doing. But also give us a thumbs up. Right now, go down, hit that thumb ups, and then go down right down here, hit the notification bell, go all the way down to the bottom, hit all notifications so you can see when we put new videos up. And then share videos on Facebook or on your whatever social media you use.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the more you share it, the more we get our word out. All right, so let's get started. All right, so now, if you notice, all right, so I don't know if you can get the perspective of where the camera's at. See, it's above my head. All right, so right here. This is where you want to mount all trail cameras. You don't want them down here by the low down, because the deer can see the camera. Not that they can't see, they can see the lights. They can see the camera. And that's what spooks deer. It's not so much the lights flashing, it's them being able to see this new thing that's just hanging down here in space. But if you put it up here, above their eye level, they will not even look at this camera. And I can prove it because of that deer that comes and sleeps in front of my stand. When I had the camera down here, no bueno, didn't even come around. I moved the camera way up here. All of a sudden now he's coming and feels comfortable enough to go sleep. All right, so let me do a review on this, and then we'll show you what this camera does in action. Hey y'all, welcome to Joko Outdoors. My name's Ken.
I'm Brian.
And today we're bringing another video on another trail cam. We got this sent from one of our well, I don't know if he's a subscriber or not, but he reached out to us. His name's Mike. He asked us to review his camera. This is an Apeman H55 trail camera. So we're going to do a full review on this camera and give it a field trial, the whole shooting match. So what we're going to do is we're going to unbox this. But before we get started, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe and go down there, hit that notification bell. And when you hit it, go all the way down and hit all notifications so you can see when we get new videos up. We try to post every Monday. We missed this past week with we had a conundrum, and you know how that has sometimes. But right now we're just doing on Mondays. But hopefully, as the season progresses, we'll be able to put maybe more videos out through the week.
Yep. So
before we're gonna get this thing opened up. All right, so let's get this thing unboxed. Well, let me tell you a little bit about it. So what happened, I got an email from Apeman, and I guess they saw some of our videos on our trail cam reviews and they liked it, so he asked me if we do a review on this particular trail cam. And I absolutely, because I like doing, we like trail cams, and I like to help out anybody who's trying to promote their business.
That's right.
So just let me give you a little rundown on what this camera's got. So it's the first thing you see, 20 megapixels. Now, one thing about the megapixels, I just want to bring this up because I don't know if we mentioned it on the last one, and I haven't seen anybody else mention it. This is just the maximum. It doesn't mean it's fixed at 20 megapixels. Actually, you can start at, I think, at 2, if I remember right, on these. 2 megapixels all the way up to 20. Most of them, this is pretty good. Most of them stop at 16. So this is one of the newer ones with the 20 meg. Actually, if you look at some of the previous models of the H55, 16 was the max. All right. So flip over on the back. It's reiterating 20 megapixels, 0.5 second trigger speed, which is pretty standard for the industry right now. Most of them say, most of them don't stretch out that far. They say, oh, 1 second. 1 second trigger speed, because they don't want people holding a stopwatch on them. But I think if you can catch the faster trigger speed you have, the more you're going to catch in your game coming through at a fast rate. It records at 1080p. Also, there's a setting in here for 720p. And it says the trigger distance on this one is 65 feet. And 65 feet is pretty good. And we've proven 65 feet is actually right out there. But we're going to run this one through some other trials where we run it out to 100 feet. Just to see if it'll pick up from there. I know they don't guarantee it, but I think it will. Because I know our victors do. Alright, it says high performance video, talking about 20 megapixels, fast trigger speed. It says guaranteed not to miss any shots, which is pretty good. I've only seen one other camera that was faster than this that said it was, and it was 0.1. And that camera cost almost $400, so you can have it.
Yeah.
I'll take my half a second and stay with that. But one of the things it does have is the 40 hidden IR LEDs. So it's a blackout type trail cam that doesn't have any flash or anything that's going to come out when the game comes on. And if we look at Brian's looking it up on is it off?
It's not on there anymore.
Oh man, we missed the window, dude. Because this thing retails for $49, and they had it on earlier this week for $20 off. So $29 for this trail cam. You couldn't find a crappy trail cam for $20.
Yeah, it looks like it's on Walmart now, but it's about $70 on Walmart.
All right, so let's unbox this thing and see what's in here. All right, basic same old stuff that's in every other one. You got your welcome card. You've got your leave a review and do the IR, and you can get some of these cool things. I do those sometimes. Sometimes I don't. Just depends on mood. And then you got your user manual, which is, I always say, if the trail cam is worth its salt, you don't need this at all.
That's right.
So we're just going to throw it. I'm not going to throw it on the ground. I'm going to throw it over the side. Going over the ground there. Okay, so here's the camera. And I took this out of the box already, so I'll go ahead and give you the disclosure on this. We did take it out of the box already. I'm going to go ahead and take all the stuff out of the box. So down here in the bottom, you've got some various things in here. So we can get this box set aside here. I got it all in here. Let's close this guys up. Set that set aside. All right, so the accessories that come with this is that mount thing that everybody puts in here. Everybody's using the same thing, and nobody seems to have figured out how to make it work. That aside, this is the cord that you can put in here, and if you wanted to. So basically, this cord is so you can plug it into the camera, and you can plug this into your phone and go through things. But in this day and age, everybody's got the little USB card that plugs into your phone that you can look at SD cards and micro. So really not a useful tool anymore. In fact, I think that's what they should be putting in cameras now, is the micro SD reader or the SD reader.
The card reader, yeah, they should be putting that in there.
And then the strap. Now this is a pretty good strap. My only complaint about it is the plastic buckle on it has a propensity, if you torque this thing down real good, this little thing go flink and fly off.
Yep.
But overall, it's really good. It's really long, so you can go put it around big trees, and even with a small tree, you can just wrap it around there and tie it up.
Did you talk to him about the IP56?
Not yet. I was going to let you do that. Right. So Brian's going to talk to you about some of the other features on the side of the box.
So this camera, one thing that's unique about this camera right here, I don't know if you guys can see it. Let's see. The biggest thing is this IP66 right here, okay? So IP66 water rating just means that it can withstand jet power, okay? I'm not saying take a pressure washer point blank range and try to see if it works, because chances are it's such a high pressure you're going to cut it in half. However, if you have hurricanes like we do up here, and you get those very high 60-mile-an-hour winds with rain coming through them, this IP66 is going to be what you want, because it's going to prevent this camera from getting any kind of water inside there. And I'm going to tell you, the other cameras that we have this same rating, and I mean, there were times where it just flooded last year up here where we're at. Not a single drop of water got inside that camera at all. It's also got time-lapse video. It's got a 2-inch built-in LCD screen. Now, we're going to get to that in just a second. I think me and Ken both agree that is one of our favorite features on this camera. It's also got a anti-fog cleaning. Anti-fog clearing. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So.
All right. So that's the nuts and bolts of the stuff. All right. So let's get into this. When I first opened this up, I said, "Oh, it looks like our Victor cameras we've been using, but it's a little bit different."
It is
a little bit different, just the design. So this is Apeman's design, and so they've got a exclusive type. But inside of it, it looks very similar. So you got your metal buckles, not that plastic buckle that will break over time. You got metal buckles, and we open this up, and we see when you open the door, this is what we're talking about. So there's some cameras that have this stuff on the door. So when you open this up, now the camera's looking over yonder, looking over that way instead of looking at this way. So you can't really target your camera very well. You actually have to rely solely on the LED indicator so you don't really know whether you got a good direction pointing or what. But this one is built into the camera. Everything is right here. So when they say the IP66 rating means that when this is closed, there's a seal on here that will not let any water get into here. And I would venture to say if you sprayed this with a pressure washer at a decent distance, you're not going to see any water get in here because that seal works great.
I'd say you could probably stand about 10 feet away.
Yep, works great.
And this is actually the seal right here around.
It's on the inside, not on the lid. Yeah, so it's actually on the body of the camera. Right? So just to give you a rundown, so here's your 40 IR LEDs that are blacked out. You see them right here. These guys here are your indicators for trigger. When your trigger is activated or targeting, it'll light up when you pass your hand in front of the sensor. You got your 2-inch LCD screen that is in full color that you can actually look at pictures on. It's going to be kind of small, but it'll give you an indication if you've got anything before you go and pull your card out of the camera. And then right here is your actual IR sensor. So this has got kind of a parabolic shape on it, so it will give you a good range. I think it was 120 degrees, if I remember right. 120 degrees from the camera on going both angles. So anything inside that 120 is going to activate that 0.5 trigger and start recording or taking pictures, whatever the case may be. One of the other things I like about it is it's got a defined click on the button, so you know exactly what position you're in. I've had some others where you kind of had to guess, where it was at. Some very expensive cameras on top, and then on the side, same thing like we've seen it before, where you got the SD card right in the side here, and there's a little indentation right here, so it makes it easy to get the card out.
Now this thing too is a true blackout camera because you have the black LED bulbs right here on top of a black cover.
Yep.
So it's a true blackout camera right there. I mean, it's not the only lights that are going to light up are these two sensor lights right there.
And they're just a little red and it doesn't stay on, it just blips. So if that's going to scare a deer, then I don't know, I don't know what else you could do.
Maybe it look like lightning bugs to them.
So, all right, and then the last thing is the battery compartment. So this is one of the other things about these cameras that we absolutely love is the battery compartment. You can actually change the batteries out without taking it off the tree, which unlike most cameras, you can't do that. And one thing, so it's got this little flip-up thing, so it's got a similar attachment that the sides do. Flip this up, and there's your battery compartment. So if this is on a tree, now you got to be savvy about this, but when you undo this, the batteries are all going to fall out in the ground. But if you know which way they go and pay attention, you can put them in here without having to take it off the tree, which is nice because then you'll have to re-target everything. All right, so let's get some batteries in here and we'll run this thing through some details and show you what all is in here.
Now these batteries right here that we're putting in, we're going to leave a link in the description below, but these are the Bevagor AA lithium batteries. They have 3,000 milliamp hours, no leakage, no explosion. If they get too hot, it won't explode. Look, These batteries, we stand by these batteries right here. They're
Yeah,
just
we don't get
as
a dime
good.
from these guys, by the way,
Yeah.
and nobody's asked us to review these, so I'm just doing this as a courtesy because, go ahead, Brian.
Well, they're just as good as the Energizer batteries. And look, $5 may only. Some people might say, "Oh, yeah, I'll spend $5 for Energizer." Look, I'm gonna tell you something. If you can get these on Amazon for $22, $25 versus $27 to $30 for the Energizer, I'm gonna go with this right here. We've had these in our cameras currently for what, almost a year now.
Over a year.
And we still have full charge on every single camera.
Not one. So I can't say that about Energizer. I can't say that about Duracell. I can't say that about anybody I've used. Even my rechargeable batteries don't last that long.
Right.
All right, so there's an indicator right here to show you plus minus. So plus means that the plus part's going to stick up, and the plus on, if you don't know about batteries, the little one with the little knob on it is your plus. So it goes plus, plus, minus, minus, plus, plus, minus, minus. Nothing overly exciting. This is exactly the same as all other cameras are that have eight cells. I have one camera that I've ever owned that only had 6 cells.
Yeah.
Only one ever. That everybody requires. I had one. Wild Game Innovations one a long time ago that held 16 cells. It was one of them big giant ones in it. Oh, it was ridiculous. And that was before I found these guys, and I was replacing batteries all the time. All right, so first thing, clicking it up one time will get you into the menu. All right, it says I have no memory card installed, and that's true. I have not put a memory card in here. I don't usually plug these in memory card wise until we get to, where we're going to be. I don't like leaving a memory card in here, for long periods of time. I don't know why. It's just me. I can't say there's anything wrong with it. It's just that's my personal way to go about things. That way I know exactly where my memory cards are too. All right, so up here, this is your menu button. This little green thing. It looks like right here. This button right here looks like a little file thing. So you click that one time, and this brings up your different things. So you've got a choice between your mode. So if we select the M button right here, that will select that. Or excuse me, the enter button. Enter button right here, enter. All right, and you can choose the mode. You got a choice between photo, video, or a combination. We leave it in combination. I like to see both of them. The video will record after the shot is made. So it'll take a picture and then record the video. And why I like that is if I see something in the picture, I like to see what happened afterwards. And that's where I caught them deer actually laying down and falling asleep in front of my stand.
Yep.
All right, so that's that one. All right, to get back, you go back to you hit the file button again, or the file button again. All right, you've got one for photo resolution. Photo resolution right here. All right, this is where I was talking about. So this one, I think you can go. So 2 megapixels is the smallest one. Now, the more megapixels you have, the more memory it's going to consume, but the better the video and picture is going to be as well. When you're getting into trail cams, you want the best clarity you possibly can get. All right, so that's that. So we'll go back to the menu, and then you got photo series, so you can choose how many in the series you want to have. 1 photo, 2 photos, or 3 photos. I just do 1. It's your choice. If I was just shooting photos without video, I probably would go to 3. So it shoots 3 consecutive bing, bing, bing videos. So that's how that works. So if you guys are trying to catch something that's moving through and you don't want to waste all your memory card because you may not be out in the field for several months, which is what happens to us in the off season. We leave our cameras up after deer season we'll never take them down. We got to change cards and keep on looking because we want to see what kind of traffic we're having during the off season. But if you're trying to see something of somebody maybe sneaking across your property, the 3-shot video or 3-shot series may work for you. All right, you got video resolution. So you got a choice between 1080p and 720p, or you can shoot it in 480p if you wanted to. I would not. In this day and age, if you're doing any kind of thing where you're putting on any kind of video, 1080p is the smallest resolution you want to go with, because if you try and blow it up on a TV, the smaller that resolution is, the crappier it looks on the video. All right, video length. So how long can we choose this? We got 5 seconds all the way up to 5 minutes of video length. Now, I will tell you, I can attest that 5-minute videos will consume a 32 gigabyte card in about 3 days.
Oh yeah. Seriously.
So it will chew it up quick. So we usually do 10-second videos in the off season. In the regular season, as we begin to start moving stuff around our stands, we'll bump it to 20 seconds so we can see a little bit more of the activity that's going around, and I will slow the trigger time down so it doesn't trigger every 10 seconds. It waits 30, maybe 2 minutes before it'll shoot another 20-second video. That way you give the deer that were there time to clear and more deer to come in, and so on and so forth. Cycle storage. Right, so cycle storage is, what was it?
Cycle storage was how long it will keep the pictures in the video without deleting.
Right.
And then once your card gets full, if you have the cycle storage set up, what it'll do is it'll start deleting the oldest videos and photos first.
There we go. Yeah, we looked it up the other day because there was nothing in the book about it.
Yeah.
So that was one thing we had to go look on the internet, see what that was about. PIR interval. So how often does your PIR? So we have it set for 30 seconds right now. You can change it to different by each individual second. All right, so we leave it at 30 seconds. Sensitivity. We shoot our sensitivity depending on where you're at. So if you've got a bunch of leaves and limbs and junk flying in front of your camera, put it on a low resolution because you're going to be taking a bunch of pictures of leaves and limbs and stuff flying in front of you.
Yep.
But if you're in a pretty open field where there's not a lot of things going, I put it on high because as soon as I see something, I want it to start taking pictures right now. Especially if you're trying to catch coyotes and foxes because them guys are really low to the ground and sometimes a PIR sensor won't pick them up in time. So we leave it at a medium range for in the woods type things because there's always stuff flying around in the woods that, I don't want to take a bunch of pictures of bugs either. All right, go down to the next one. Target recording time is how long you record your time for. All right, we go to the next one. Time lapse. So this could be a time lapse. So it'll do just like every other camera. One of the nicer cameras is you can shoot a time lapse of between this time and this time. So if you think your deer are moving in between these hours, you can put it on time lapse and it'll shoot a little 5-second video every X amount of time over the course between that period. And you'll have a kind of a time-lapse run video of all those things. So that's what that is. You've got language. Choose your languages. So if you're not in the United States and in Canada, you can choose if you're in France or in England. England speaks English too. If you're in other countries, you have language choices for your thing.
But England speaks English.
Yeah. So then you got your time date stamp. We leave this on time date stamp always. Always put the time date stamp on my videos so that way I know where it's at. Now, important thing to understand about this, and I forgot to mention this on the last one too, is you have to remember that daylight savings time does not automatically update on your camera. So you need to go out there and fix it so that your times actually match up to when the game's going on. It's not an hour off one way or the other. It's got a serial number, so if you had to call tech support, you can give them a serial number right there. It's got unit temperature, so we do Fahrenheit in the United States. You could choose Celsius if you choose, and that will put that on there too. Now, beep sound. Now, notice it ain't beeping because I've turned it off already. I don't like the beep sound because I don't like being in the woods looking at my various things and it going beep, beep, beep every time I touch the thing. So that's just my preference. If you turn beep sounds on, it will beep every time. So let me demonstrate. So put this on. All right, so off. No more beep sounds. Okay. Audio recording. We do leave our audio recording on. Mostly because I want to hear if an animal is doing. I like to do the turkeys when they're doing their thing, when they're doing their mating calls and stuff. And then your timestamp. You can choose this. You can choose either the time, date, and the logo. You can choose time, date, or you can date or off. And I'm going to leave the logo on for this particular review because the customer did ask us to do a review on their camera. So the video we put up and the pictures we put up are going to be for them. All right. Then I'll probably turn this off after later on because I already know what camera it is. All right, go back. And password protection. Now this is another one of those options. Choice. Brian does it sometimes. I do it sometimes depending on our area. Now we had a story, and I'm going to let Brian talk about that real fast about why password protection is so important.
Yeah, I'll make it quick. Last year, no, not last year, 2 years ago, we were on a hunting property about 2 hours away. We were on a club, and we were backed up against the game lands up here in North Carolina, and we had some people cross over onto our land, and they actually took my trail camera. So it kind of sucked that they took my trail camera, but at the same time, they couldn't get very far with it. They got a free SD card, but unless they could figure out my password or was able to hook it up to a computer and hack it, they weren't going to be able to use that thing because I had a password protection on there that only I knew, and unless they could hack it or knew my password, it was useless to them. So if you're on public land, definitely use it. If you're on a new hunting club that you've never been on before and you're not sure about it, definitely use it. If you're on a family farm like we are and you have personal property and you feel like it's in a pretty safe zone, we don't use it now because of that reason. But you got to kind of decide whether it's going to be in a position to be used or not.
All right, so that's the password protection. So you could set this up. It's a 4-digit password, so pretty simple. And then you can format your card. All right, so let's talk about this a little bit. All right, formatting your card on the computer is one thing, but tying that card to a specific camera is the most important thing you can do, because when you do that, now it's matched to the settings of this camera. Not all cameras are created equal, but each camera has its own little settings inside of it for its particular brand that imprints on that card. And if it's imprinted with that particular thing, formatted for that camera, it will always work for that camera. Now, with that being said, on every single camera we have, every single one, we have 2 SD cards.
Yep.
That's specifically for that one. So if you have a bunch of these cameras, write like 1 or 2 or 3 in a little door over here, and then tie that card to that camera. So the number 1 camera gets the number 1 card, and have 2 of those. So one when you take it out, one when you put it back in. If you're using the same cards out of the same cameras, you don't have to format the card every single time in the camera. The computer will do it for you. But if you are swapping a bunch of cards in and out of here, rotating a bunch of cards, format those cards to the camera every single time if you plan on getting all your pictures. Otherwise, what will happen is you'll start losing data, start having problems, and people start attributing that to the camera, and it's not the camera, it's the card.
Right.
All right. Reset settings. So I can hit this button and reset it back to the default factory settings. You got version that goes back to that thing, and I do have some ways. Now, one of the other things about this cable, what this can be used for is to hook this into your computer to update firmware. Mm-hmm. If there's an update on the firmware for this particular camera, that's what that version will show you, what version you're on. So just to give you an idea, this version is the Apeman H55, and we are V2.1 5.1D. I have no idea what all that means, but if I called Apeman, they would be able to get up with me on what's going on with that. All right, so that is the menu. All right, so to get out of the menu, you're going to hit the M button, or the button again, and then you got your M button. Now, because I don't have a memory card in here, it's not going to show this, but this M button allows you to select through the memory card. It will let you look at the pictures and be able to page through with the M button. So that M button is called mode. You got your up and down arrows. You got your OK button. So right now, I've got the time set. It says it's 91 degrees Fahrenheit out here, which I can truly believe that because it's pretty dang hot.
Yeah.
All right, so the last thing we need to do is get this thing in the field. So we're going to go employ this thing by where we're going to be moving the ladder stand that we talked about on their video, and we're going to employ it at that particular location, looking over some peanut bark and maybe corn pile or something like that. So you guys check us out with that. Okay, so you see this video in this picture. This is about the time when the sun's just going down, when it just starts to switch over to black and white. And it looks pretty good. It's pretty clear. But when we switch over to the full night, you'll see that halo that's coming in. And I'm not sure exactly what's causing that. I took the camera down, I cleaned the lens, and it was still doing it. So I'm not sure what's causing that problem. So you don't really see it in the daytime. But if you go back and look at the lighter black and white, you can just see it in the corner. So I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure if it's a little bit of a defect in the lens, but the daytime pictures look good, except there's a little bit grainy. I mean, you can see the turkeys back here, and that's that. All right, so we ran it through its tests, and we want to give you our final review on what we found. So you saw the video and the pictures that it took. So my final observation, I'm gonna let Brian tell you his, unless we just disagree. So the pictures, to me, seemed like they were a little bit grainy, and even the video seemed a little bit distorted. And one of the things that I noticed, and I tried everything with that little halo that was on the nighttime pictures and video. I tried cleaning the camera lens, didn't make any difference. So that's the first time I've ever seen that on a trail cam.
Yeah.
And you know, it kind of takes away from the video because it draws your eye to that one spot. But I don't know if it maybe it's just one of those cameras that just had a little bit of a defect, and we just happened to get one. But overall, I'm very pleased with the camera. It has all the features that you'd possibly need. It's got the the video screen on the center. It's got the all the different options. So overall, I would give it, if you had to go out of 10, I'd probably give it about an 8.5.
Yeah. The daytime pictures, I can tell you, the daytime pictures were a lot better. Very clear daytime pictures. So the daytime pictures, you know, I mean, I think the daytime pictures are just as good as your high-end cameras. Mm-hmm. The nighttime pictures could have a little bit more clarity. Now, I mean, you know, at night, of course, on any trail camera like that, any game camera, the pictures aren't going to be, you know, so clear that you can sit there and see fine details. But on this one, I can tell you the spot, if you go back and you watch, there's a spot on there where this camera's getting pictures maybe, I don't know, what, 20 foot out in front of it, yeah, and it's pretty clear. Whereas we've had cameras in the past that you could go about maybe another 10, 15 foot, so 30, 35 feet, and have clear nighttime pictures. But outside of that, it was you know, I think it's a pretty good camera. The shutter is not very loud. It's a very fast shutter. Compared to other stuff we've had, you know, I think it's pretty comparable, but there are a few things that need to be worked on, just like any other camera out there. It's at a very good price point, so you know, we have to consider that too. The price point is very good, and it's going to be hard to find another camera, I would say, that's probably as good as this one for the price that you're going to buy.
Right.
I think that's the biggest thing. You're looking at the price point, looking at what type of camera it is, and compared to other cameras in its category, price point wise, I don't think you're going to find a better one, but there are some things that could be improved.
Right. So what's your overall rating out of 10?
I'd probably give it an 8.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10.
So one of the reasons for the 8.5 for me, one thing I noticed about, and there was two things I mentioned in the when we did the box, opening the box, is trigger time. All right, so if you're going to advertise a 0.5 second trigger time, you better make sure it's doing at 0.5.
Right.
Because I did notice there was a lot of deer that had passed in front, and you know, I don't like getting pictures of deer butts.
Right.
I like to see what passed in front of it, and without the video, I would have never known what that was. So the video is picking up at the but the actual picture itself is not shooting at the same pace. So, you know, if it is, there isn't. That's one of the reasons why I marked it down, all the way down to 8.5, mainly because of that.
I would say that, and then the glare on the nighttime pictures, because when you see that glare, if you go back and you look at it, when you see that glare, your eyes instantly go to it. So you go to there first, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, that's, you know,
that's not what I'm trying to see.
You know, it's like, okay, well, is that like some kind of bug there? Because I see a deer over here, and then you start focusing on the deer. So, you know, get rid of the glare on the nighttime pictures, and of course, make sure that the trigger speed is what it's supposed to be. And I think we could up the...
And then the last thing that we marked down on is the distance.
Yeah.
So it said on the box, 65 feet. Well, I measured it out, 65 feet. I walked a straight line into the woods, and at 65 feet, I had to stop. And then I turned and started walking towards the camera, and I had to get all the way almost up to 25 feet before the camera actually picked me up.
It was about where you were at with the peanut bark, right?
Yeah, right about the peanut bark. So that is not good. On that side of the camera, I would say that probably marked it down at least a full point. Now, I'll give you the half. I'll give you the half on the other two because comparing it against other cameras, you know, okay, I wouldn't say that, but that one right there, if you're gonna put it on the box, it better do it.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's one thing about this this thing. So, but overall, 8Man makes some good stuff.
Yep.
I have seen other things that they make, and you know, I think maybe we might have gotten a dud. So, aside of that, I mean, for a dud, it works really great.
Yep.
But
Yep.
that's our overall review on this. And once again, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe. Do it right now. Don't wait. And give us a thumbs up too. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up.
Yep.
And also share the video because some other people might want to know about this camera and they don't know where to go.
If you don't know what the share button is, look at that little crooked arrow down there on the bottom, or the one that goes like this
like a
right
hook
here.
There. Share it. And you can share it on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can do it all on all those different social media sites.
Yep.
And anything you can do on that will help us because the more you share it, the more people see it, and the more people have an opportunity to watch this video. And as you know, with algorithms on YouTube, the more times you watch, the better it is for us.
Yep.
And also the subscriptions. So just to give you an idea where we're at right now, we're ranging closer and closer every day to that 500, which is when we're going to do our next giveaway. So you guys keep on subscribing, and remember, this is God's country.
That's right.